Detroit, Detroit, Detroit.
Detroit is different. Detroit is different. Detroit is different. Detroit is different.
Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studios. And in studio, I got a brother that definitely has connected here through more of the creativity and the iterations of Detroit is Different. Great partner of mine, but also just somebody that y'all know I support. And Josh Adams, he has a collection of different people from life's travels, but this brother actually is doing something, connecting with daughters and building something as he has too. Ken, what's going on, my brother?
Man, I cannot call it. First of all, let me say, brother, thank you for sharing your platform with me.
Oh, man.
This is actually my very first public podcast.
That's what's up.
Studio time of being.
Okay.
I see my little girl with me.
Yeah.
But I definitely wanted to, and first I'm going to have to shout out to Josh as well.
Yeah.
Giving him thanks and praise for him connecting us a little bit closer.
Yeah.
You know, we've been around each other a couple times, but this is the first time that we're going to be able to be in this space right here.
Yeah, man.
You know? So I really appreciate you opening everything up for me, man.
Well, thank you so much. You doing something for the community and for our people. And Detroit is Different is definitely looking to get all these stories that are adding into what is constructive and progressive.
Yes.
Definitely coming to life.
Yes.
So with that, man, we always start these Detroit is Different on the generations. How many generations your family been in Detroit? What's the story of that?
So I would be third generation Detroiter.
Okay.
My grandmother came from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Wow.
And my grandfather, actually, which is funny, my grandfather came from Stovall, Georgia.
Wow.
Seeing as how we just met Mr. Stovall right here, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'm learning that every day is confirmation. But my mother was born here. We are native East Side Detroiters.
Okay.
48224. I'm from Harper and Bedford.
Okay.
You know? So, man, that's been my life. I love it here. I'm seeing the changes, and I want to be a part of the change. I need to make personal and community changes for all of us, especially for fathers with daughters specifically.
I'm with it. All right. So as we kind of get into that, Georgia and Alabama, those are the top two.
Yeah, for
where it
here.
seems like everybody comes from.
Yes.
Arkansas is a little bit different. Arkansas, a lot of them kind of went to like Chicago, maybe Milwaukee or something.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you got some cousins up in Chicago.
Oh, man, we spread out everywhere, brother.
Okay.
When I tell you, man, our family reunion is biannually.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like 500 plus.
Wow.
Right? We're spread out everywhere, literally everywhere.
Okay.
Every 2 years we have to pick a different destination because we have so much family
Everywhere.
in those places. Man.
Okay.
You know? So that's where my sense of family comes from. Now, my immediate family is fairly small.
Okay.
Here in Detroit right now, I only have maybe 4 family members. My grandmother's still 94, blessed to be with us. I have an uncle, a cousin, and then my mother.
Okay.
Right? And then that's it.
Everybody else was like, it's too cold here.
Yeah.
I'm getting
It's too cold in the D, man. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. Too cold in the D.
Yeah, man. Don't nobody else want to come up here. They come to visit, and then that's it.
I will see you in the summertime.
I'm telling you, man. But I think that with the changes that we got going on here, we're going to be able to make some things happen for sure.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So, Arkansas in this path, what was it that brought her this way?
So back then, it's a lot of, and I'm still actually learning.
Getting all the story, yeah.
And in fact, I know my cousins, when they see this, they're gonna be upset, but I'm my grandmother's favorite.
Okay, hilarious.
So I can get different stories out of her that nobody else can. So I am coming to find that there was some abusive situations, and there were 3 siblings. My grandmother being the middle, right? She had an older sister and then a younger brother.
Yeah.
Well, my grandmother was sent to live up here with a family member.
Okay.
While the oldest and the youngest was sent elsewhere with a different family member.
Okay.
So, it sounds like whatever connection was here already, and she just had to come here to explore those opportunities.
And caught those roots on the east side.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you already talked about the neighborhood. I think that's not that far from, shout out to Tony McElwain, that Ravendale footprint and everything.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So your family was always like east like that?
No, so my family settled. So first, my grandfather left a legacy, man. My grandfather was a prominent businessman here in Detroit. He owned a painting and decorating company for, 50 years before his untimely death.
What was the name of the
It
business?
was called Wilson Painting.
Okay.
It's called Wilson Painting.
Hey.
All right. Now, the building was right there at 7 Mile in Livernois. All right. It was on 7 Mile, about a block west of the grocery store that's there. Literally across the street from the library.
Okay. Oh, so it's kind of like where man, I'm thinking a cliff. By Right Records used to be.
So a block east.
Okay.
Yeah.
A block east from
A
By
block
Right.
east.
Okay,
Yeah.
so almost like that's like kind of that First Independence.
Exactly. It was right there. It's literally the next corner.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was there. He also owned a bar. And he also owned a dry cleaner.
Okay, and then at that time, from all these Detroiters different interviews, Tony Stovall was like, "How you know all this stuff?"
Yeah.
That means he was there when they always talk about B. Seagulls being over there.
Man, that guy right there was different. And he was in, after his death, we found out that he was a part of some things that we didn't know.
I got you. I got you.
But when I tell you, like, he moved with a luxury in life because he was tied into Hartman and Tyner. All right. Now, Hartman and Tyner were the biggest developers of the Detroit metro area. All right. They still own Regency Apartments, the 555 that's in Birmingham. They had Pointer Woods, Knob in the Woods. They were the largest developers in the city.
What was how did it just like happenstance, or you don't even know?
Happenstance and pizzazz. That man just had a zing.
Gift of gab.
He had a zing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I like to think that he passed it on to me. I was the one that spent the most time with him out of the grandchildren. Well, that's because I'm the oldest, right?
Okay.
But I'm telling you, watching him move in meetings and things of that nature was like something I never seen before.
Okay.
And it just be, I finally have something to put that energy to.
I got
right? Instead of using that gift of gab, using all of that for negative, you know what I mean? We go through that period where you find out that you could talk your way into some stuff, And it's just about having a product that you feel so strongly about that you can make some changes and make something happen with that voice that you have.
Okay.
So I know that for me, man, that when I figured it out and when I came back and grew into my spirituality, that's when I found out that there were things that I could do with the gift of God, man. And not the gift of gab, the gift of God.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. And with this, I definitely, these Detroit history stories, I like adding layers because they add more to the whole mix of it all.
Yeah.
So you actively saw him in owning these multiple businesses
yes, absolutely.
as a child.
Yes.
What happened? What was, did like anybody in the family want to pick up and carry on legacy? How did that happen?
Yes. So absolutely. So again, I don't think that you know what? Let me say this. One thing that I've learned to be is unapologetic about my upbringing and about my family story.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to give it to you straight up.
There
all
we
right.
go.
So there's multiple facets in every family. All right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but my grandmother and grandfather had 4 children. All right. My mother is the oldest. Okay. Then there were 3 boys that followed her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life happens, all right? And my mother was the one who had the business sense to be able to take over everything, right? And she didn't have the physical capacity to sit there, hanging drywall and mudding things in, and you know what I'm saying? Not saying that women can't do it, but that wasn't her story. You know what I'm saying? So the boys, on the other hand, they were gifted. They were gifted, right? And I mean gifted. You want to talk about a painter that can come in here, they don't believe in taping. All right. You want to talk about cutting a wall out or sealing out? My middle uncle was able to do murals, freehand murals. All right. He was the artist. He was also a bongo player, a percussionist. Right? But unfortunately, when you have those demons, man, them demons take over. All right. And if you're not equipped with the spiritual background, with the mental, the physical, and the emotional, man, that stuff takes over you. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, yes, they did have the want, but they didn't have the means.
And also, these are great things to highlight, especially when we talk about family too. And somewhat of, this is connecting to Mr. Stovall's interview, like, preparation, where you like how to pass on any asset. And I mean, we've seen it at levels of, right now, anybody that are basketball fans, we're looking at the Buss family and they're billionaires, but they're being slowly but surely exited out
Absolutely.
of ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers,
Absolutely.
which their father was the helm of that. I think a lot of people watched that the Showtime. What was it?
Yeah, with Magic, the Magic.
Yeah. I forget the name of that.
I think it was Showtime.
I think it was Showtime. But yeah, the HBO miniseries.
Yeah, yep.
But you saw like Jerry Buss's feel was so intricate in business, and not to take away any credit from the sons or the daughter. I think Jeannie has been uplifted, but now the new ownership is moving in another place.
Absolutely.
In direction. And sometimes, like, when we think of like legacy and having assets like businesses, because we often hear like, why don't this and why don't that? It's the relationships and how to carry on those relationships and how to keep those things and navigate stuff. I mean,
absolutely. It's a dying art.
Yeah,
it's a dying art.
It's a reason why they say you don't want to end up in probate if anybody's ever dealt with a passing
Property,
and a person does not have a will. And, or a notarized will and testament.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And this all kind of goes into like family and legacy.
Absolutely,
because I'm pretty sure probably the cousins that are younger than you probably looking at your mom and they're like, hey, what was y'all doing?
What we doing?
You know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah.
So
and that's one thing that I am really big on is leaving legacy, right? And a lot of times, and it sounded like you were about to touch on it for a minute. When you're watching, when you have that vision, right? You know that vision, and unfortunately, you cannot give that vision in its entirety to somebody else, right? No matter what it is you give them.
Yeah.
And then on the back end of that too, as parents, man, we try to raise our children sometimes with what we didn't have, forgetting to give them what we did have. You know what I mean? And in doing that, it gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm sitting up here thinking about the time that my mother never bought me Jordans. So I'm going to go ahead on and give them to her every chance she gets and every time she wants them.
Yeah.
But what is that teaching her? You know what I mean? Just, you could say that you want something and I just give it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that we have to give them what we did have, also while finding a healthy mix to give them what we might have wanted a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with a splurge. Ain't nothing wrong with giving a little bit more, but it's means of doing it and it's a way to do it, healthily.
And also, just, so many iterations and growth when we think of business over time.
For sure.
It's more assets now, how things go and navigate. Always being black in business, everything's always different.
That's right.
And also, relationships, like Mr. Sowell said, it's a lot based on relationships.
Absolutely.
And what I shared is like dynamics change. So like your uncle may have been running with your granddad every day.
Right.
And now the granddad no longer in the business. That person that had that relationship with your grandfather, doesn't necessarily transfer to your uncle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At times it could just be a sense of, not even entitlement, obviously, but a sense of just loyalty to one person, right?
Yeah.
And it could be the fact that, hey, maybe you were responsible for getting me off the ground.
Yeah.
We did this for each other, and now I'm going to move on because such and such can do something else for me, which actually is what happened.
Yeah.
You know, the prices that my grandfather was getting paid when it came to taking care of the units and rehabbing all the units, they were able to go elsewhere when he passed to get them for a cheaper price.
Yeah.
So in business is business, and we have to, sometimes have to remove the personal from the business at times,
And back to even when you charge more, I think I like that we're here, and I think it'll all play in, but like it's you're gonna run into problems with business
every day,
all the time,
every day,
but who I do business with, I want to trust.
Yes.
I want to feel as though like I can trust.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's like I trusted granddad because we've been grinding together. I already know those decisions where I don't really know you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a I'll make a lot of sports analogies. It's you believe in a quarterback that even if they throw an interception, you like, that still was a pass that he should have thrown.
Absolutely.
Whether if it's a one that you really don't know, you be thinking like,
right.
It was a touchdown, but
So I think that speaks also to the point of that's where integrity comes in too, where you have to be able to do the right things when somebody's not looking.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when somebody's looking, right?
Yeah.
So back to that point is that the reason why the keys might not have been passed to my uncles is because the Hartman and Tyler did know exactly what it was that
Yeah.
they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they might not have been able to trust them, that given that position and that power, that you're going to be able to do the exact same thing the exact same way that your father did.
Yeah.
And that's understandable, right?
And sometimes, like, with that trust and reputation, it's like you just see they're always present, they always there, they
Yeah.
always running with it.
Absolutely.
That's what we expect to happen. I'm trying to think of like another like sports or something analogy where it's like, oh yeah, we knew naturally
Right.
that they would just walk right on in
Yeah.
and do it because they were prepping for it
Right.
for so long
Absolutely.
that this is just a natural progression.
Absolutely. And
You know?
and unfortunately, that right there is exactly where nepotism fails, right? Is because you're so entrusted to come in and do this job, but unfortunately, you didn't have to grind to get it. You got handed the keys. Even when you weren't equipped to handle the keys, you got handed the keys, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of times, that's when stuff fails.
Yeah.
You know, and then the legacy is completely tarnished because you're like, man, you didn't let your son come in here and just ruin everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's and again, man, why I want to set up and create this legacy so that when I can retire, my girls can go ahead and take the helm, and they could keep this thing running and going,
and keeping it moving.
And who better to do it than a woman?
I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, especially at this time in Detroit right now. If you look at
Absolutely.
Mirror Lake Sheffield,
Absolutely.
So now I guess I get more so, and you coming up in that space, that neighborhood. What was it like for you as a kid?
So now I would visit my grandmother. So back to that, my grandfather built a house on 7 Mile in Livernois in the 50s.
Okay.
All right. The only black man who had a house built on that block at the time, right? And going over there was a stark contrast from where I lived.
Yep.
My first house where I grew up was 6 Mile in Connor.
Okay.
Right, on Algonac, right by the airport, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So I was there until I was 6.
East
Right?
6 Mile is a whole, boy, that's a culture for you.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, it's something different. It's deep. It's deep. All right.
Yes.
But that was my first. That was where you could say the roots of the tree were planted.
Okay.
Right. And then my mother ended up getting other jobs in her company.
Yeah.
And that allowed us to move over to Harper and Whittier.
Okay.
Right? And that's where everything changed because that's when we were pretty integrated still over there.
Yeah.
Right. When we first moved over there, I mean, most of my neighbors were white at the time. And then, you know, everything was kind of mixed in. It was a melting pot right there in that area.
Yeah.
But then over the years, probably within the course of 5 years, that's when everything kind of started to change a little bit, you know. But we were still insulated, right? And it was like, hey, don't go too far that way. Don't go too far that way.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you stay right here, you good to go.
Okay.
You know? So we were raised, and I like to say, man, we were raised around the hood. We weren't raised in the hood.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So in that, like, growth, what schools you going to?
So at the time, the school that I went to primarily for elementary school was Faith Christian Academy.
Okay.
All right. And that was Keith Butler's school. And that was when it was right there on Nevada and Van Dyke.
Wow.
All right?
Old school.
Old school.
We talking
Old
about
school.
old school. Man, oh man.
Old school.
That was
yeah.
like, boy, oh boy, that was back when it was the flock was growing there.
Oh man, it was flowing. The motto was excellence and nothing at all. I had that philosophy up until about 5th grade, and then that's when I got introduced to gang culture. All right,
So
that's when things changed for me.
But also, okay, all right, and I definitely want to touch on that.
Yeah.
But, so are you there? Are you all attending Word of Faith too?
No. So we did not attend
school
Word of
there.
Faith. I just
Okay.
went to the school,
Okay.
right? My mother would tell you she was very humble. All right. I had an older brother who was 8 years my senior, that was legally adopted. All right.
Okay.
To this day, I never met my father. I just turned 40 in September. I've never met my father. My mother did it all on her own from the beginning to the end.
Wow.
All right. I had a stepfather, and I'm sure, hey, we might get to this, but there's some things that my family don't even know about the inner workings of what happened in the home, you know, with us that shaped me to be who I am right now. You know? So no, I did not go to Faith Christian Word of Faith.
Okay.
We didn't attend Word of Faith. But I went to the school, and it was an amazing experience, you know, amazing experience. Yeah.
All right.
I don't have anything bad to say about the school.
All right. And then when you talk about gang culture and
Yeah, man.
and shout out to my homie, Dr. Yusef Bunchy Shakur.
Yes.
And he talks about it like, so oftentimes, because it's gang culture in Detroit is a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah.
It's present, but it's a lot more like neighborhood based.
Yes.
So
that's exactly
because
it. Yeah.
I went to Northwestern,
Okay.
you know, and you know, Zone 8's
Zone
over
8.
there.
Yeah. Yep.
The number streets are over there.
Yep.
Dexter's there. Linwood's
Yeah.
there. Like, so it's like I often uplift this. Definitely it's people that like get way more involved.
For sure.
But some of it is like I have to interact with these kids from Dexter
Absolutely.
all summer or when I'm not in school.
Absolutely.
So technically, even if he does something that like, you know, I remember, you know, like people do dumb stuff, especially boys, like light pennies on flyer and throw them at people.
Yeah. Still
So
a hubcaps.
If he gets into a fight,
I got to.
and I live in this neighborhood and his older brothers are over there and everything, then I'm kind of gonna be involved in this
Absolutely.
too. And
if you
the
don't,
associations kind of connect. Now, definitely, especially in times like throughout the 90s and early 90s and early 2000s, I mean, we think of like, I mean, a lot more of like, I guess, folk culture and
GD.
Yep.
GD came around.
Yeah. And what would be present, and similar to like a lot of these stories, it's a lot of young men looking for more usually like role model figures.
Yeah,
like the roots of I mean, if people read Tuki's book.
Yeah, absolutely. And a sense of community, right?
Yeah.
That's really what it was. And like you said, to your point is, you know, if you're in that, right, and you don't participate, you got something to handle back at home when you know what I'm saying?
You will deal with it's like, okay, it's like I could get jumped in one time and deal with it once, or I can stay away from it and be running all the time and probably get beat up every day.
Man, Kyle, let me tell you, brother, I can remember the first time, man, I'll never forget, because this right here kind of changed everything for me, right? Now, unfortunately, it was a pivotal point where I could have leaned further into going right, or just go ahead and assume exactly what it was that I was already in, right? Yeah. So I'm hanging out with my guys, my same neighborhood guys all the time. We had to be every bit of 10 years old. It was the first time that we were walking out of a store, right? And the gang squad pulled up on us, and I mean, like, almost hit us, like almost rammed us. And there's like 4 or 5 of us walking outside. It's the first time that I ever had, I was literally thrown on the wall, spread eagle, and patted down. All right. And I'm 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So right there, I had to look to my friends. And you don't realize like how certain things shape you and give you trauma and PTSD and everything. You know, you don't realize it until after the fact. But I'm sitting there, I'm scared as hell. But I'm looking at my other guys and they looking like they used to this. You know what I'm saying? So if I show any fear, if I show any emotion, what that's going to do for me? When we get back on the block, I'm going to have to... Man,
it's I mean, it's in a film that people have seen, but like in Menace to Society, it's like a classic scene where Lorenz Tate plays the O-Dog character.
Yes.
And they just happen to be in the liquor store.
Yeah.
And during that time, because of, I guess, a back and forth like verbal altercation,
right,
O-Dog murders the people in the liquor store.
Yeah, the clerk.
And they take the tape and they're watching the tape.
Yeah.
And I forget.
Tyron
Turner's character of Kane is like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But the other guys watching the tape are like, oh, why you not acting as tough?
Exactly.
Like, it's this, though that's in cinema. But it's
real.
That's more extreme, but it's situations like that in this whole facade of like where we can guide ourselves, especially as Black men, and use, I guess, use intimidation,
absolutely,
violence as a way of like, I guess, honoring our presence in whatever circle we're in.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, man, that right there is what leads to kind of the overall social state that we're in right now as Black men. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to put that on us because we're not a monolith. right? We're so much more. But, you know, if it didn't exist, then brothers like me wouldn't be here. Brothers like Jason Wilson wouldn't be around. You know what I mean? But absolutely, man, to your point, for sure. Like, you have to put up this facade and persona when you're going through a situation, and it's like it's a survival tactic.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Very
the fact
much so.
that, man, listen, if I don't do this, this could happen.
Yeah, the other factors, because so much of the other factors of things going on and where things at. Like, I mean, you know, the one I always say, like, I mean, man, and I'm definitely, as I always say, I'm square, but my squareness is based to a lot of the more criminally inclined group of people I know, but
right.
Just especially at you know 15, 16,
Yeah.
I would never get in a car and say, "Hey man, you got a gun on you?"
Yeah,
But
no.
The probability, probably from like 16 to, I don't know, maybe 30.
Yeah.
The probability of me getting in a vehicle with one of my friends that possibly have a firearm that's not registered or anything.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, and like I say, I'm square as ever, but that right there, that situation right there could change your whole future.
Kai, I remember, man, I used to paint water guns. I used to spray paint them black, and I would walk around with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't, if anything happened, I don't know what you know what I'm saying?
I mean, as we've seen so many Tamir Rice.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And but the frontal lobe isn't developed at that point, right? So I'm not thinking about what could happen. You know, in my mind, I'm gonna be cool because I'm walking around here, and even if I don't lift my shirt up, my boys see the bulge, right? I'm the youngest out of the crew. Let me say I'm not the youngest, but all of my guys have older brothers.
Yeah.
Now at this point, my brother has left the house. My brother, I can remember walking into my mother's room while she was tying my shoes while we're getting ready to go to school. He was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
He flat out told her, "Ma, I decided I don't want to follow your rules no more, so I'm leaving." He handed her a key, and that was the last time he lived with us.
Wow.
All right. So at the time, I was 7 years old. Because like I said, I think he's 8 to 9 years older than me, depending on the month.
Yeah.
Right. So at the time that he did that, I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that leaves an impression as, at that point in time, like, I guess the male figure that is there present in the house to be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we look up to you know, our older
big
siblings,
brothers, absolutely.
Just set the standard of a lot of things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, in seeing that, you know, that made me kind of, you know. Now the other part to that is whatever the case, innately, I've always had the philosophy of, you know, smart people learn by their mistakes, but geniuses learn from the mistakes of others, right? So I was able to watch and see how my brother was moving, and I was able to figure out and finagle how not to get in trouble, right? By watching him. So I knew, okay, wait a minute now, if I do this, this is the punishment that is going to yield. Now, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get hit over the head with that red plastic bat. You know what I'm saying? I take a punishment, but I don't want to get hit. So you figure out, and that does, you know, you have a sense of how to manipulate situations after a time, right? Because you know just what to do to get into the amount of trouble that you're willing to get into, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So that starts high school. I'm guessing.
Not me.
You were just in street life basically from middle school,
brother.
On
6th grade, okay? 6th grade. Now let's go back to that. 5th grade, up until 5th grade, I was probably and most of the time, my teachers would tell you they would love to have a full class of me.
Okay.
I was quiet.
Student.
I've always been quiet. I've always been docile. I did my work. I did all of that. 6th grade is when I got introduced to gang culture. All right. And in being a part of that, that's when my rebellion started. All right. Now, Faith Christian Academy ended up moving to Southfield at the end of my 6th grade year.
When they go onto the campus of the new,
yes.
And from where you live, that's
too far.
Yes.
Mom ain't taking me there, right? Yeah. Now, in the same year that they moved, that's when Cornerstone moved from Joy Road and Rosa Parks, right, to the old School of the Deaf, which was literally 2 blocks away from Word of Faith from Faith Christian Academy.
Yeah.
All right. So my 7th and 8th grade years is where I ended up going to Cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
That is when stuff changed.
Yeah.
All right. That's when it really changed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the height of my rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So that right there, that shaped everything in terms of figuring out who I was as a young man. That's when my introduction to women started, young girls at that point. 7th and 8th grade, I'm in there with women who were pregnant, you know what I'm saying? With young ladies, young girls who were pregnant who had to leave, right? Because it's not faith. Cornerstone wasn't faith-based like Word of Faith was.
Yeah.
And how Faith Christian Academy was, right? So now you in there with some hood.
Yeah.
I'm in there chilling with the hood people now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a charter school. So it still didn't have a tuition, right? But what they did was Cornerstone had partners. So Ford would give so much money, you know, Kresge would give so much money. And what it would do was it would take the tuition that they did charge and it would just wipe the tuition out. So we were sponsored, right?
Yeah.
All the kids were sponsored. And then we even had Partner Day. Partner Day was when, you know, a CEO and execs would come and sit with us, you know, for the first part of the morning, and we would talk to them and they would ask us what we're doing, what we're working on, you know. But yeah, that was, and I'm sitting there learning how to be a chameleon, because back to the essential point and the original, when I'm at my grandmother's house on 7 Mile and Livernois, I got a whole nother set of friends. When I'm at my other grandmother's house, my stepfather's mother, who grew up right here at LaSalle and Lothrop, right? I'm around a whole nother group. Then I go to the east side, all right? And I'm around my whole other group. So here I am learning how to be a chameleon. At this time, too, I'm still playing the drums at a church. I started playing drums in church when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
All right. So not only am I praising the Lord on Sunday, I'm going to school on Monday being what we call a Cornerstone Crip. All right. Then going to my grandmother's houses, being a part of Zone 8 over here, and then going or being around Zone 8 friends or affiliates, and then going to my grandmother's house on 7 Mile and Livernois. All right. And I'm being a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you learn how to be a chameleon. You know what I mean? And it's for survival. You have to know how to do these things. This is one of them cities.
Yeah.
We in that city where if you ain't moving right, they gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know?
Definitely. So in this, what's the I guess how long are you in this space moving around? You said high school wasn't even on the deck.
Not yet. So everything switched because I kind of got into sports at that point, right?
Okay. What sport?
Football.
Okay.
So I went to St. Martin de Porres. I went to St. Martin de Porres High School.
Okay.
All right. And I went there all 4 years. All right. Now.
And this is when de Porres is on Gratiot?
No, this is 6 Mile and Schaefer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 6 Mile, Schaefer and Grove.
Okay.
Right. So I was one of them kids that just wouldn't, hey man, you know, I had the ability, but I didn't have the want. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And
so you didn't really put the effort in.
Not at all.
You just
not at all.
But I was team. Why did you choose to play football?
Man, because I was told that was the way to get out. And if we really want to be honest, and again, here goes one of them transparency moments. We going back to the fact that I never met my father a day in my life, right? But I was always told that my father was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Interesting.
All right. So in my mind, I said, well, you know what? I need to play so that I can throw it back in his face one day that I did this without you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my mindset in doing it. But it showed that I just didn't have the want to be there.
Yeah.
Right? I was a body. I was always one of the biggest kids around.
Yeah.
And I always had long arms, even right now, man. I'm barely at 6 feet, but I got to wear a 36, 37 shirt because my arms are so long.
What position were you playing?
I was playing tight end, and sometimes I would play defensive end.
Did you before this, did you ever play football?
Never. I didn't play PAL. I didn't play none of that.
So your start of football was in high school?
Was in high school.
Which is rare.
Yes, absolutely. Always wanted to, but my mother didn't want me to because she was afraid I would get hurt. Yes. And it was and this even crazier is that my stepfather that my mother ended up, with, his nephew became the president of the West Side Cubs.
Okay.
So I think it was because also I never really expressed interest in wanting to play prior to high school.
Okay.
You know?
But one second. Sweet, sweet red and white. Shout out. Keep going.
My guys, man. Yeah. So, brother, I was always around. You know what I mean? I was always around football culture, but I did not give it anything. I didn't give it the attention that I
effort. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? None whatsoever. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I would say like many people, like, I don't know, like definitely me. I'm going back to the Cubs. Like I was on the Cubs when Braylon was on the Cubs. And when you saw Braylon practice, it was like,
shout out, that's my brother.
I'm never putting that much effort in.
Yeah.
But it was different. It was like, damn, man.
Yeah, man.
This is the B team.
That's my guy right there, man.
So it's like a different clip of athlete every time you go. And then when you see somebody that's like, you know, or man, oh man, Charles Rogers.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. But continue.
No, because some of that stuff right there is just God given, right? You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I always, and I feel like that sometimes with a lot of things, where I felt like I was good enough to belong, but not good enough to stand out. Right?
I got you.
I can be there. I could be the fly on the wall. Man, I can remember in practice catching passes on the best cornerback that we had. You know what I'm saying? Running routes and everything. Catching passes that none of the other tight ends was catching.
Yeah.
But it was very inconsistent because I literally just didn't care. I was working off of just my innate ability as opposed to actually putting something
in the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'll be honest with you, man, that has been a very, man, and I hate to say it, procrastination has been my downfall my entire life.
Well, I would say it's two things, because what you're speaking to and how I'm interpreting what you're sharing, it's not procrastination as much as, and I guess everyone has a fear of failure.
Yes.
But I'm interpreting it that way because, and I mean, we all question, I know I have, and I think this is human. So I'm saying we all, but I'd assume all of us, like, okay, if you give all your effort and don't get to the destination where you think you should get,
right,
that's a different type of hurt.
Absolutely.
Than feeling like, you know.
Absolutely.
Like with me and rapping, it'd be like, here you go, classic. Like, you know, me and my friend Sterling used to say, it's like you let a couple people hear something and then it's like, it's okay. And you like, yeah, it's gonna be a mixtape.
Right.
They'd be like, yo, that's dope. It's like, yeah, that's gonna be my album.
Right.
In reality, it's like I'm putting less effort in what this mixtape is versus this album. But if you put in the clip of work at all times, and that's one thing about athletics why I make so many analogies, because I've seen athletes where it's like, no, he's on a different clip. And when they focus and they're that serious, you can tell. But part of it is, I think, to be that focused, the fulfillment can't be the destination of itself. It's the whole process of whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So it's like when we're running laps around McCabe Field, it's like he was like, Braylon would be maybe like 15 yards ahead of everybody.
Yep.
So it's like he's at a different clip.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When if anybody ever, I mean, this is back in the day, Detroit culture. Like if anybody ever saw Antonio Gates play basketball,
that boy was a
Central,
monster.
It was like,
this
is different.
Absolutely.
That is different.
He had it. What you would describe as it.
Yes.
There's nothing else that you could say.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
it's just
even back to, I mean, when we talk about DePores, I mean, if you saw Brandon Cotton.
Yeah. Shout out to BC. I just talked to him not too long ago. That's my guy.
Man, it was, you know
that boy was a walking bucket. We talking 35 easy in his sleep. You know?
So it's like, it's a different clip.
Absolutely.
That you see some people put in, and it's like,
for sure,
you're not doing that.
For sure.
So the thought process is, if you put the effort in that they put in and don't get to their destination, you interpret that as failure, which is not necessarily. You should put that effort in. Like when most people say like, man, you be editing video all the time. It's like, I'm getting better at this process in my craft because it's fulfillment in the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely. And I think that the most important part to being able to enjoy and appreciate that journey is to finding your purpose and what it is that you're so passionate about.
Yeah.
The reason why Braylon was 15 yards ahead of everybody, Braylon knew it had to be revealed to him long before that this right here is who you are, what you are. This is your gift.
Yep.
You're going to be here. You're going to do this.
Yeah.
All right. This is your path.
Yep.
And I don't think that I ever found that until recently. In fact, I know I haven't found that until recently, you know? So I think that a lot of times my whole life, to sum it all up, I've been throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Just like, and I call, and I feel that energy sometimes in space. Like I feel like people are just kind of floating.
Absolutely.
It's really tough when it's brothers because there's so many brothers that I think are just kind of like floating through and won't like really commit to anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying I've not been in that space before, but to find that passion and commit to a passion is it's tough.
For sure.
It's heartbreak that happens with it too.
For sure.
But it's worth having something to love.
Absolutely.
And pour into.
Absolutely.
To risk it not necessarily manifesting the way that you think, and you just continue to like stay in that flow.
Absolutely, man. And it's everything. But and unfortunately, a lot of times our brothers, we don't find it.
Yeah.
People don't find it, period. You know
I was going to say, yeah, brothers included, but definitely people. And it's tougher on us just because, as well, Mr. Stovall said, it's the perception of who we are in society.
Absolutely.
A lot of these perceptions, you know, that do manifest, I think can be, it's based in something, but it's still, it's heavy. So it's like, you know, like what do they say? It's like you know, you know, a white C student can be George W. Bush.
Right.
the black,
yeah.
A student ain't gonna be that. So it's like if you the black C student, it's like
you ain't got a chance.
Where are we going? Where are we going? What are you doing? What are you connected to?
Absolutely.
And a lot of that, that finding value in what we can deliver and bring to a situation instead of necessarily feeling as though we have value just our presence alone.
Absolutely. And I think that that's why we go into the creative spaces and we excel so easily in creative spaces, right? Is because of that. Because the doors are shut on us so far and well, a lot, right? Not few and far in between. Doors are shut on us all the time. So we're forced to make a lane. We're forced to start something, right? And that's really and truthfully where, you know, where I'm at in life with myself is that I'm not necessarily going to say that doors were closed on me, but this right here was revealed to me that this is what I was supposed to do, that this is my purpose. And that's why I feel the fulfillment in life right now. And I'm remiss if I don't give it everything that I have. I finally found something that I have purpose for, you know, that gives me purpose as well.
So we're here.
Yeah.
And even before we go there, as you're bouncing around and trying some of the other things, I definitely got to get the end of how did you end up like walking away from a lot of the gang culture and everything like that? Was it the sports itself, or was it?
That's exactly what it was.
Sports, you find the other camaraderie there in the locker room.
Exactly. Not even in the locker room. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was that happened for me, man. And I'm a man, with the grace of God, my best friend to this day, right? His father and him, I credit them for saving me, to be honest with you. He was an athlete at Kettering, right? Then we had another little brother that was an athlete at King, all right? So shout out to Quan, Mr. Pittman, Pops, shout out to Mike. Those were my brothers that insulated me from everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that made it easy for me to put down the other crowd and then focus on them. And then Pops was a police officer. He was DPD. All right. And along with Mr. Terry Wilcox. All right. Shout out to both of them. I consider both of them to be my surrogate fathers at times, right? I credit them for literally saving my life. I do not know where and what it was I would have done if it were not for those two men.
And the influence of what you saw from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I saw the love of a man directly from Mr. Nathaniel Pittman. You know what I'm saying? I had never seen that before.
Shout out Mr. Pittman.
Yeah, man. And hey, look, we here now, right? My mother married a man who had his own way of showing love, right? We are not able to tell somebody what it is that they internalize as abuse and trauma, okay? I can sit up here and tell you right now that while I was going through school, while I was doing those things, I was verbally abused so much from my stepfather at times. I didn't know what to do, man. I got called village idiot. I got told I wasn't never gonna be nothing. I got told all type of stuff. If we went to the store, if we went to McDonald's, now mind you, in 6th, 7th grade, If we went to McDonald's, I had to pay for my own food. All right. So I felt like I was a stepchild. I was treated like I was a stepchild. On his death, not even on his deathbed, but in his health decline, I felt that there were times that he was trying to make up for some of the things that he did, knowing some of the stress that he caused, the anger that he caused, some of the issues and PTSD in me that was caused. I feel that he was trying to make up for it, but I was so hardened that I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And that broke me down at his funeral and took me through something that I had never been through too. You know?
Well, yeah, it's been a heavy year of grief even for me for multiple reasons, but a couple different things to uplift. Oftentimes, you know, it's said and the saying itself does not necessarily like give it a resolution.
Right.
It just shines the truth on it of you know, hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So clearly it's a reflection of where he was.
Absolutely.
That's one thing. The second thing I want to share is the heaviest something can weigh on you in any form of grief, and it's a lifelong journey, is if a person passes before you get to whatever resolution of peace that you need to make with it.
Right.
Even if the peace is, I love you.
Yeah.
The dynamics of our relationship can keep us apart.
For sure.
But I'm at peace with what this is.
Absolutely.
Just from seeing a lot of people that I'm close to pass and seeing the responses of others that I know had, you know, never really got to that resolution.
Yeah.
And you just never really necessarily know when that may happen. So hopefully, I'm not necessarily saying, you know, hug and kiss everybody every time you see them or anything, but hopefully you're moving, anybody watching this, and this is me included, we're moving towards spaces where we can be accepting of whatever those resolutions are in the relationships we have.
And thank you, brother, because that right there is so. And we can, I ain't gonna fast forward, but I'm gonna say, you know, throughout school, through all of that stuff, that's actually why I went into behavior sciences in college. I went to Saginaw Valley State University, right? So I actually originally went there for criminal justice and English, but I can remember my very first professor, my intro to psych professors kind of really shaped me, and that right there, I wanted to be him, right? And that right there is what took it. But we are going through a period now where a Black man specifically, right? We're able to show emotion. We're able to express ourselves, right? I can tell you right now, I do tell my brothers every time I see them, I love them. I'm a man that at 40 have only heard I love you 2 times from 2 different men in my life, okay? And I am the person who can say it now, and I don't feel no type of way about it. I can sit up here and tell you, Kari, I love you, brother. I love you like a brother. Josh, I love you like a brother. I can sit up here and tell anybody I come into contact with, I love you like a brother, because I want to make sure that the last time that we're together, that you understand that I mean exactly what it is that I say. I'm very genuine in the sense that I want everything that you want for you. I want better for you than you want for yourself. You know what I mean? I don't care. What you doing right here, this ain't big enough as far as I'm concerned. I need you on every platform that there is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you desire. I want to know how it is that you can get there and what my role can be in helping you get there.
Respect.
You know?
Now, 2 things you touched on that I definitely want to get into. The first one, though, Saginaw. Saginaw has its own culture.
Oh, man.
We've talked about it, and we hit it on Detroit is Different a couple of times. What was it like adjusting to Saginaw?
Oh, man.
As I always jokingly say, it's like Saginaw is like the Flint of Flint.
Man, listen, man, all it took was a year, man. Saginaw sent me back home in a year.
Okay.
Man. Man, let me tell you, like Saginaw was where I first got introduced to man, boy, my roommates was cocaine cowboys. All right. That's the first time I ever seen a white boy put a line on the table and just be, you know, like how Cat Williams was saying, man, do you know that we can see you? Man, this boy, my sweet mate, man, he would chop lines up and sit there and just right in front of you. Mid conversation. I can remember calling my mother like, hey, yo, I gotta go. This ain't it. I had to call her 3 or 4 different times to tell her like, hey, yo, this is different. All right. The last time that broke it and I ended up switching rooms, I didn't necessarily leave school at the time. We had a raid on our suite.
Yeah.
Our suite got raided at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because the
activity.
Yeah, man. The drug addict roommate, he lost his keys. He was beating on the gate. They called the freshman dorms the jungle, right? It was all locked in.
Yeah.
It was all wrought iron gates that was around it. Beating on the gates, he had to climb over the gate to get in. He sliced his body all up.
He did dope fiend action.
He did some damage.
Dope fiend actions.
He did some damage to himself, right?
Yeah.
He did the police, the campus police, they called the Saginaw police. They done followed him up to the room. They done followed the trail of blood up to the room. They done pulled all of us out of the room. So what do? I revert back. My PTSD takes me to the time I'm 8, 9, 10 years old, and now I'm getting pulled over and frisked next to my friends. You know what I'm saying? And here it is again. For them, it's common culture. For me, it's a shock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't live like that. Yeah. I ain't never been that person to live like that. So when I finally told her what was actually going on, that's when she changed her mind.
Yeah.
And that's when I had to switch rooms. You know what I'm saying? Well, switching rooms put me in a room with, now I'm not with the drug user. Now I'm with the drug dealer. All right.
Yeah. There you go.
Now I'm in a whole nother culture, right?
Yeah.
My mother tell you, the first semester I was calling her, asking her for money every weekend. The next semester I was calling her, asking her if she needed money. Cause now here it is, I'm running with the biggest dope man on campus now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or the weed man at the time. You know how it was, man, back in 03.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was now pills and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, weed was it's legal now, so it ain't nothing big. But back then it was heavy. You know?
Yeah.
So the off-campus parties, all of that, man. All of that craziness.
Yeah.
All of that. You know? It was fun, but it was too much for me. I literally lived a sheltered life, and the only time, especially from 9th through 12th grade, I was very sheltered because I was with my guys.
Yeah.
They would have considered all of us lames.
Yeah.
We were lames. We weren't no ladies' men. We weren't all world-class athletes either. We were guys who were on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But out of 53 guys, we might have been number 50. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You know? So that's how everything ended up working out in that respect, you know? But I ended up coming home from Saginaw. I just couldn't take it no more.
Okay. And you psychology, as it's always uplifted, it's not a lot of black men in that space.
Absolutely.
Jason, you've already mentioned Jason.
Yeah, man. That
speaks to that and many others, but it's not a lot of black men. You know, I sometimes get those text messages. I got one the other day, like, do you know a black male counselor?
Oh yeah, I got plenty for you.
It's not a lot of us in that space. What led you to even have that interest?
So I found out later on in life that my mother's first major in school was psychology, right? And she was turned away from it because her father, my grandfather, told her, anybody that want to listen to somebody else's problem all day got to be crazy.
Hilarious.
So so at that point, that's when she fixed her focus to numbers, to finances.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the measures and the tools that she would use on us as children, it stayed with me. Right? From the time that I was a kid, I can remember her practicing the format of 5 whys on me, right? 5 whys is when you take a situation and you ask why 5 times, and you're supposed to be able to come up with the root of that situation, which led me to not being able to think on a surface level, right? So now when I'm asked a question, it also shaped my emotional intelligence, because now when I'm asked a question, I could tell you why I feel, what I feel, why I did what I did, all of it from the root cause. I don't have to give you a surface level answer. I can go straight down to it. Now, it might take you a little while to catch up as to why I did it, but I can give it to you exactly why I did it. You know, no holds barred, no nothing. It's just straight there, straight in front of you, you know?
Okay. Clearly, I mean, for me doing this show and people listening, for me having these hour-long conversations and stuff, people are definitely aware that I'm in conversation often.
Okay.
And I think a lot of us are in conversation often.
Yeah.
When we get into like a lot of what I would call like critical thinking, it's a lot of broken pathways. I think one of the key broken pathways is this right here.
Man.
And and really more so the applications in which, you know, like it's hard to even like present this to somebody that was before this, like your daughter's living in a world of it, but you're you.
Yeah.
But through this device, I have a personality that's me.
Yes.
That even me, as genuine as I want to be, you're only seeing the reflections of myself that I
Yeah.
choose to share.
The representative. Yeah.
So you're never really having, and I think that we have multiple selves through these devices and things.
Yeah.
And really the studies that'll possibly be done with the impacts of human interaction
Right.
through social media.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily know when all those studies will come to life.
Right.
How you even can have a representative sample that's not within that group.
Right.
But that definitely becomes more difficult for people today.
For sure.
I think it's more difficult to have a one-on-one sincere conversation with someone that you love and care about.
For sure.
Over matters that impact both of your lives than to sit and, talk about goofy stuff that Donald Trump is doing.
Yeah, no. It's no. You can't do that. And being in that too as well, I know for me personally, I'm trying to figure out how to use this social media tool to my advantage, right? But I also know how to show up and be authentically me.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I plan on doing. Now, that is my plan, right?
Yeah.
Now, things are going to happen, right? There's going to be variants that come in, and that might mean that, hey, I have to be something a little bit different. To be honest with you, this is different right now. Anybody that knows me will tell you, I've always been the quiet kid, man. Always been the quiet kid. I don't have much to say.
Yeah.
Right? But when you put me in a platform for something that I now have purpose, now I can actually say any and everything. Yeah. The words can flow because I feel it, because this is authentically me.
So in this space, you leave Saginaw and it's just like in your mind of thinking in this world of psychology.
Yes.
You pick back up with any other like classes in psychology and counseling?
Oakland. I went to Oakland Community
OCC.
as well as OCC as well as Oakland University classes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I did not graduate. I do not have a degree. I still, took all my studies and everything like that. It's not a thing about me thinking, hey, I got everything that I needed. It's the fact that real life kicked in, right? And when that money kick in, when those student loans start adding up, it's like, all right, let me go ahead on and get a job. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm one of them people who is not going to claim to know everything, but I'm definitely not going to apologize for what I do know. And if you're going to base somebody's intellect on a piece of paper, then I think you failed already. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's still a part of the story.
Okay. All right. So, in this path, and you're like, okay, now I'm finding this purpose. So you're working. Clearly, I know you got your daughter, family.
Right.
What leads you to this purpose?
Oh, man. So the very first time I had a full-blown panic attack was at the hospital when she was being delivered.
Wow.
All right. We have placenta previa. All right. So the uterus is covering the placenta, so she can't have a full vaginal birth. Right. So we had to have an emergency C-section. When she came out, now for most kids that are C-section, they have to go through the NICU. All right. I can remember walking to NICU, which is pretty much like, the child intensive care. So I'm a newborn intensive care unit, actually.
Yeah.
I'm walking. Now in Hutzel, the delivery room and NICU, it's a nice walk, right? We're talking about maybe a quarter-mile walk.
Yeah.
I literally broke down in the bridge walking over to the NICU.
Yeah.
It's the first time I had ever felt all of those emotions at once. I couldn't understand how a man could bring a child into this world and not want to have anything to do with him. I couldn't understand why my father didn't want to be around.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand, or I could never understand how all of my guys who were living in broken families, how their fathers could not want to be a part of their child's life. I felt the most joy I've ever felt in my life. I felt the most scared I've ever felt in my life. It literally took my mother and my mother-in-law to literally get me off of the ground to bring me back around. Wow. All right. And that right there kind of shaped what it was that I knew that I needed to do. Now, the one thing that I always had was a complex of not being present for my children. Right. Again, never met my father. I have that complex. That was something that I knew I was breaking that generational curse. Yeah. My father never met his father. I got the story finding out that my father thought that his brother's father was really his father. only to find out at the age of 18 or a teen that it wasn't. All right. And he vowed to my mother that he would never walk out on his child because his father did it to him. And look at what happened. So I knew that I was strong enough to break the generational curse. And I made a vow long before then that I was going to do it. But in having that panic attack, that let me know that this right here, this is my legacy. This right here is my legacy. This is where I'm supposed to be. This right here is what I'm supposed to do. How we got to the nonprofit, the birth of my second daughter, all right? I stayed home with her for 4 months. Now, when she was born, I only stayed home for 1 month. I went ahead back to work. I didn't know how to play the game. So if they find out about this, man, I might be canned. But it is what it is. But I found out how to stay home a little bit longer with the youngest. Those worries never went away. Just because she was my second child, they never went away. They were compounded, right? Because now I'm trying to figure out, damn, I got 2 more mouths to feed. It ain't just me and my wife. Now I got another one. It's her and her sister. What I'm going to do? Am I going to be able to love my youngest the way that I love my oldest? Am I man enough to be there for both of them emotionally when they need me in different ways? Am I able to show up for them and how it is that they need me at the time that they need me, right? So I can remember going back to work the first day I was going to work from being at home, the very first day. It was dark outside. It was raining. And as clear as I'm talking to you right now, first of all, I got to rewind that. One of my favorite songs, the favorite song of mine from Nas, and one of my favorite songs, period, is Daughters from his Life is Good album in 2011, right? My oldest daughter was born in 2016, but when I first heard that song in 2011, that was already my favorite song. All of my friends will tell you that when I was growing up, I've always said I only wanted daughters, right? So I have a feeling that I spoke it into fruition. But I can remember the first day going back to work, his song just happened to come on XM radio, the song Daughters. When I tell you, brother, I was bawling, I mean bawling, because I'm scared. I'm scared for my wife being at home, right, with this newborn. I'm scared of everything that I just said. Am I going to be man enough to emotionally show up for them when they need me, right? Do I have the tools? Do I have the resources to show up for them when they need me in the areas that I need to be in? Can I fill those spaces for them along the way, right? When I tell you, man, as clear as I'm talking to you right now, something, and I credit it to God, my ancestors, all of the above, it was a higher power. I ain't intelligent enough to come up with this, all right? It says start a nonprofit to help brothers love their daughters the way that you do. If you feel you don't have resources, if you feel that you don't have the emotional capacity in some areas, if you feel that you can't show up authentically as yourself the right way, let these other brothers help and create a community of these brothers who can hold each other up and that be in the same spaces in time of their lives. So that all branched together. And from that moment on, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. This is where that procrastination comes in. I started the nonprofit in November of 22, right? I ain't do nothing with it. I ain't do nothing with it. I like to say I had it, but I ain't do anything with it. It started off as the fact that some of my closest friends are all girl dads. So we would get the girls together and do little things, you know what I mean? We would take them to airtime. We would go to a movie, go to a play, something of that nature, right? But it needed to be bigger than that. I felt like, why can't all fathers do this? Why can't we create a community of men who want the same thing for their daughters? Back in the day, remember how it was when if your neighbor saw you doing something, you get it from your neighbor, then your neighbor gonna call your mama, then you gotta go home and get it from your mama. Then when your daddy get home, you gotta get it from your daddy. We need to create that community back. We need to get it so our children know their worth before they leave our home. So they ain't got to go out there and look for it. So if my daughter is walking around and she doing something she ain't got no business doing, Uncle Kari got her. Uncle Kari done saw her. Guess what? Uncle Kari about to call me and let me know what's going on. So you're going to get checked by your uncle first, and then you're going to get called. Then I'm going to get called. Then you're going to get it again when you get home. So essentially what I want to do with this is, again, create bonds, create lasting memories. Get the fathers back. And you ain't got to be in the same household to be an active and present father, but you got to be intentional. And if you don't have the means, let me show you how, right? Let me show you how to get there. I have friends of mine who are licensed therapists. Shout out to my brother, George McCollum, who also has Defined by Fatherhood, right? So I'm working with a conglomerate and a network of other nonprofits, and these guys are on the grounds doing the work. You hear me? And man, we trying to get a whole new facet of life shape, like Tyrese, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Tyrese said, I don't need no tissue. I cry. I hurt. And we need to get away from that, man. We need to get away from the stigma of not being able to show those emotions, not being able to be emotionally supportive when she has her cycle. Thinking that is, oh man, I don't want to sit up here in the store with her going to get this. Man, that's your baby. Who better? Because you are going to shape her vision of how a man is supposed to treat her in her latter years. I'm her first boyfriend. And if I don't set the bar high, then that's going to allow any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come into her life and do whatever it is that be impressed with the nothing. Even with me that I didn't have a personal football career, I've been blessed to be studious enough to study different things and have a understanding, right? To be able to coordinate, specifically on defense. I ended up coaching at with my brother John Pittman. I ended up coaching with him at Consortium High School and Detroit Public Safety Academy.
Okay.
Right. Shout out to my man Tim Hopkins too. I was able to be in spaces where I have trained now NFL players. I have coached now NFL players. She travels with me when we go to their games. She literally, this past summer, we just rolled on a family cart right next to Patrick Mahomes because one of my guys plays for the Chiefs. So she's around there. I'm setting the bar high and putting her in places where she don't have to be, mind blown when somebody looks her way. And I think that we all have to do that, especially with daughters. I think we can all agree in the fact that some of these little young fellas, man, they'll do anything for the young ladies to get the attention. And if we can get their standard raised and the bar set high, that ain't gonna do nothing but make these little young fellas raise their standards as well and their way of life.
So two things in sharing that. Thank you so much for providing that context as we get closer to a close here. The first thing that I want to do, and I've said this before, so I'm not dismissing the abandonment act that that men have left children.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing more of the context. Because like when I was younger, I definitely didn't think that like, I would have some homeboys that are going through like baby mama drama and all this. I didn't see that. Now, as I'm older and I have a better understanding of it, and it's sad and it still really all deals with that same emotion.
Right.
And what we carry as men. And the tough thing, it's like, it could get further and further, meaning like, I think if a man does not feel fulfilled in what he can offer and bring, then he'll just, hey, I'll get you next Christmas.
Absolutely.
I'll get you next, because like, it's like, it's a reflection of him seeing lack.
Absolutely.
Walking into a room.
For sure.
And this dissonance can grow. I mean, definitely, I think it's most tragic when it's a father to a child.
Yeah.
But this could be brother to brother.
Absolutely.
It could be son to mother. It could be uncle to nephew or niece.
Absolutely.
Like it's like men and we talk about like the loneliness or solitude that many of us have, just because a lot of our worth we feel like is carried in what we have to offer to whatever we're connected to. So I think a lot of the dissonance that exists in our society is because of that.
Yeah.
And even being aware of this, it does not supersede a lot of the conditioning that society usually presents because of, the like, as a man, what you bring it to the table, like these things echo and permeate in our mind. And it's just, as shout out to Phil Simpson, the artist and everything. Like sometimes just, you know what I'm saying? Like a brother can damn near break down and start crying when you just be like, yo, man, how are you?
How are you?
Because it's like, man, this person seriously really cares about how I am and not, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I can do this for you, I can do that for
Absolutely.
you, or I can plug you with this or
Absolutely.
that, or it becomes like we say, like the more intimidating factor, but just like, you know, man, really your presence.
Yeah.
I love what that is.
It matters.
And that it can be tough because I mean, when we look at the rates of homelessness, it's the reason why Black men are the highest in these rates. Like,
absolutely, it's systemic. We know it's systemic.
And what's grown, even when you talk about the younger brothers, this is the other dynamic of it. A lot of the younger guys, as now I got like a crew of a lot of younger dudes, and it's tough because, I know the dynamic of the relationship I have definitely in the business space where I even hired a social worker to like sit with them this summer to help in some of the stuff processing, because some of the things they share and just back to the dynamics of business. And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm not trying to hear it.
Right.
But if we putting you know, we getting these cameras ready, we getting the audio stuff ready, we put up speakers, and then you're telling me about traumatic events happening in a household, I'm not present for that.
Okay.
Because my mind, it's like
you focused on this.
It's back to like not just focus on this. It's like this is change. It's like, first off, I don't necessarily know what decisions I make in the situation that you're in. Just due to who I am. And I'm not necessarily saying that like I'm embracing the wrong decision, but I'm learning more and more every day.
Yeah.
So many ways where like my dissonance and the relationship I have with people, it's like in the boundaries where I have it. So like if this goes over, where I know you having this panic attack.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I got all these other people on my team that I got to make sure they got the money and everything too.
Right.
I don't know how to be in that headspace. So I was like, so, you know, even in hiring the social worker, it's just interesting. And I think a lot of these younger guys, and I'm talking specifically, I guess this is like Gen Z, like 17 to 24, the way they move is so different, than anything that I've ever seen. Like,
it's different. Because their surroundings are different.
And
their access is different.
The value that they feel in themselves.
Yeah.
It's definitely made me a lot more aware.
Yeah.
Because I know the eyes are looking at me.
Right.
And I know I carry a standard.
Yes.
So I mean, I lay a little bit of game when I can.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely never, I'm not saying like I wouldn't pour in.
Right.
But I try to offer what I think would be most healthy even for me.
Right.
So it's like, look, I'm not going to tell you that I think this is the best thing. I'm going to tell you the decision I probably would make.
Okay.
And this is the reason why I would probably make that decision.
Do you feel fulfilled when you, because it sounds like, let me hear, are you removing the emotion from the situation to get a product? Because you have a vision of the product and the emotion may taint, not necessarily taint, but the road travel could be different, right? So it sounded like you were saying that if you have this one young man over here, you're responsible for 5 more over here. So you can't pour into this one that's over here because that'll take away from what the 5 is already getting. Is that?
So definitely, like many people, well, like many people, like me, definitely, and a lot of the men I know, like emotionally, in my emotional IQ, I don't know where it stands in like most things. I think in like a lot of these isms, it depends on what's happening and to what reference. So it's like, I know that it can be very flat, almost stoic oftentimes. And then at times it can be very passionate and very high. It's dependent upon what that situation is and how that situation is. And then also these are the other things of like the other vestiges of things that have happened even in my life too. That paint like who I am. So what I could say is this. Back to like, you know, who I am in that same definition. As I've grown and people have committed to the work and the projects and a lot of this stuff, I carry a lot of responsibility for a lot of people. So being mindful of that does not mean I dismiss the humanity of who this person is. But which I don't necessarily always control, but I definitely have to look at like, okay, I have to have this in balance and in terms in which where things can be fluid. So it becomes it becomes things that I'm still navigating as I grow my team.
Okay.
It becomes things where it's like, okay, that trust can still be there,
Right.
but I'm definitely a person where I'm strong in presence of mind. And if my presence of mind is not centered, especially in something that I think is emotionally heavy, I'm not going to I'm not going to be able to, I think, move with the act that I should. I will probably move more so in the act of I'm still processing. You know, so like oftentimes, and this may be like, you know, this may be sophistry within me saying it, but like oftentimes when it's like the emotional space, and I know like that emotional IQ, I'm still processing a lot of stuff before I can even tap into like the emotion behind it. And I know a person be like, that don't even make sense, but like
no, it makes perfect sense.
It's just where life is, especially in a lot of my conditioning as Black men, because like you've been pulled over and things like that.
Absolutely.
But, you know, and it's not just even the pullover. It's sometimes just the dynamics of, you know, here's a classic one.
Right.
Last year we're at we're at a large event for the city. Strong political event. My guys walk in. When they walk in and my guy had on a hat. And this is like closer to the end of the day. And we're doing video and getting photography and everything and doing audio and stuff. And he was like, yeah, the lady when we walked in said like, you probably got to take that hat off because it could mean you're in a gang. So it's like emotion. Kari by himself, it's like, yo, what the, you know what I'm saying?
That's private. That's
me. That's immediate.
That would be primary.
And it's like, one second, I know more people that are controlling these situations.
Right.
That's the other part that I'm processing. And then it's like, okay, do I even want this to put a battery in my back, or should this be a state for me to show them a lesson of how to move? You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these things are kind of going together as I'm processing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And then also I see the dynamic as the other guys are looking.
Right.
And I know it's back to them eyes is looking at me.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
because you OG car
processing this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And as the leader, you have a responsibility to show how things are supposed to go. Right. And that's what we do. That's what men do. And I hate to say and keep going on about the whole gender war of men and men role and women role. But when you were given a position, a certain position, you have a job description that you have to fill, right? So when you're responsible for a certain thing, you have to be the person to say, hey, this is the way this is going to go, right? So it's a thing of us not acting on sometimes primary emotions, right? Excuse me. Sometimes you have to be able to push that primary to the side, and then we get to the secondary, right? You push that first initial knee-jerk reaction to the side, and then in real time you say, okay, wait a minute, teaching moment. Young lady, what was the point for that? Why would you, I'm here at a function, a high society function. What would make you think that I'm a gang member? What happened in your life that made you feel that I'm here? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, let's be honest now, excuse me, and not giving that person a pass, but at the end of the day, we are all a sum total of our life experiences.
And in that sum total, that's back to like, I got to add that battery in back. Because it's also back to like, I must be at a level where I'm not going to be immediately engaged.
Absolutely.
Because that plays out oftentimes with our people too.
Absolutely.
So it's like, if that's the card that they're going to play, and this is one of the spaces where we usually not, we kind of need to be because they're usually not in this space.
Right.
How do we navigate it? So like,
I need to be the picture.
So like I say, it's like, I definitely know, I'm processing it.
And I need to be the picture. And that's what I'm saying. And to bring it all back, that's what I was given, what I have been revealed and shown to be my purpose, my legacy in this life. I had a conversation with a young lady who tried to tell me that my legacy was going to be tarnished because I didn't have a son.
Interesting.
All right. And she told me that when I was on my deathbed that I was going to feel this way and that way because I didn't have anybody to carry on this is my legacy. Being a father to my daughters is my legacy. Being there to hold their purses, being there to get my nails painted. I just had 15 barrettes in my hair 2 days ago. That's my legacy. That's what I'm leaving behind. And I am at the forefront like you when you're doing, or let me say this, I'm trying to position myself to be at the forefront, to give brothers an example of, hey, this is really what it is that we doing. I know what society say we doing, but let me show you what's really going on over there, because that's not what my POV look like. My POV look like a bunch of fathers like, Josh, who got all these girls, man, that's doing his thing. My POV look like my best friends. My POV look like, Mr. Pittman, who was there. My POV looks like Mr. Wilcox, who was there. That's my POV, not what everybody else sees. And I'm trying to set myself and position myself to be at the front, to where you can see that this guy right here take his job serious as being a father more than any other accolade that he could have ever did. And I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to try to show every brother that I can. And we got to start by breaking down a lot of these transactional relationships when it comes to men and women.
Yeah.
And let's stop talking about, provision from a financial standpoint. Because if you reduce a man's worth, and you were right there a little while back.
Yeah.
If you reduce a man's worth to what he can provide in terms of finances, then you ain't never been provided for. We provide so much. We're capable of providing so much more. The moral support that I'm providing, the spiritual support that I'm providing. I'm the head of my household. Right? I set the tone. So I have to give her emotional support when she doesn't feel safe in other areas, for me to give her the guidance of what to do and how to do. It ain't just going to the store and buying some shoes every now and then so we can match and look alike.
Yeah.
It's levels to this.
Yeah.
So I want to be the person, like you said, I'll get people who will ask her if they know who I am sometimes. Do you know this man? Because we're living in a sex trafficking society now where it's at an all-time high, and people have been conditioned to not see fathers and daughters out just hanging out together.
I agree.
I'm in an airport with her, and people are coming up to her. If I went to Starbucks to go get us something, people are asking her, do you know that man?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
That's the conditions that we living in.
Yeah.
How did we get there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously we know how we got there.
Yeah.
But what can we do to break it down?
Very much so.
And that's where I'm at with it right now, is trying to put forth effort to show and to change, to put forth that show, that show and say, hey, we're here, we're present, we're going to be here. All right? These are babies. This is our legacy. And brothers got to stand up and take back control of their legacy. Everything that you were saying, I'm not saying that, that there aren't roadblocks and systemic roadblocks that are set in place to get us to be torn away from each other, right? You had to go from riots in the 60s. You had to go from Vietnam War in the 70s. Then the plant comes in the 80s. 90s, Bill Clinton sends all the manufacturing jobs with NAFTA overseas. We have been systemically displaced, and it's been incentivized for Black men to not be in the homes with their families. And I am saying I'm aware of all of that. I get that. But you don't have to be a present father in the same household. Let me say that. You don't have to be in the same household to strengthen the bond and be a present father with your child.
Agreed.
You don't have to do that.
Agreed.
Let me show you how to do that. I'm doing the hard part for you. All I need you to do is show up. I'm getting these events. I'm getting in this with other places where we're going to go and we're going to bond. We're going to fellowship. We're going to have cooking classes with fathers and daughters. We're going to do old school potato sack races if we have to.
Okay.
Art gallery shows with our daughters. Anything that we can do to build up that bond and that trust, and to be let it show, man. We about to reshape society's brain on what a Black man is walking around with his daughter. That's his pride and joy. That's his baby.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask if you know him.
Yeah.
That hit me.
I got you. Yeah, and I can only imagine. So with that, how do people support? How do they connect?
Man, listen, so I have a website. I am just now trying to get my social media presence up. So, man, please subscribe. We didn't touch on it, man. I've been thankful enough to be able to do a little bit of motivational speaking when it comes to trauma and healing. I've connected with my brother, Dr. Umar, who has been a life coach to me for the past couple years. That's still my big brother, I've been blessed to be able to move with him and make some moves and do some other things. But you can always, hey, man, come, support, share videos. I'm about to start dropping a healing workshop, a healing conference, just little different things. Because again, like we said, in systemic issues, healing has to be at the forefront, right? We carrying around a whole lot of PTSD and a whole lot of baggage. And I get it, and I understand that the things that have been put in place are keeping us, but there's some things that with us that we can do for ourselves that can get us to a place of healing too, to be able to have those conversations with our families, to start that just let's rebrand that generational trauma.
Okay.
Let's take it. Let's alleviate it.
All right. So with that, now classic Detroit is different questions.
Yes.
Very first car, year, make, and model, year you got it.
1986 Chevy Cavalier.
Oh, man.
Navy blue.
What year?
86.
What year did you get it?
2002.
Oh, man,
that
it
was
had
my
some
first
days
car,
on
man.
it. It had some days on it.
Yeah. Hey,
How long did it last?
Man, probably, until my uncle fell asleep at the wheel and crashed it, brother. Probably about 10 years after that. And then look, my guy was the owner of Hollywood Sounds over there on 8 Mile and Gratiot.
Yeah.
So I was able to go over there. When I tell you, man, my sounds was killing everybody in the city. My boys used to draw straws to see who had to sit in the back seat because they was
man.
eardrums was gonna be blown out.
You said like 2002. That means you was playing that. What
man,
sounds
look,
back then?
02. You talking about? That's when.
That's definitely some. You playing.
Shout out Cheddar Boys. That's when. I'm a Cheddar Boy baby kind of first came out.
That's definitely that.
Malik. Big Hurt really came through. But Not Guilty. Big Hurt came through with Not Guilty.
Yeah.
But then when you go to the mainstream, I can remember that's when 3-6 Mafia came out, Riding Spinners.
3-6 Mafia it was made for sound. Certain stuff was just made for sounds. Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, who you couldn't tell me I wasn't a 6th member of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Hilarious.
That's when BTNH Resurrection came out.
Okay. So the sounds.
man.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Where's the first place you went when you got the ride?
Oh man, what this the crazy part about it, and I feel like it ain't too much of a crazy story like everybody else's. It was a hand-me-down.
I got you, but still.
You know what I'm saying? So the first spot was Chandler Park.
Oh,
first spot, Chandler Park, man.
Okay, a lot of people say, you so east side.
I'm too east side, man. I'm too east side.
Too east side to go to Belle first.
I might not look like it, brother, but I'm from
Chandler
right
Park
there.
Strip.
I'm from right there.
Oh, the Chandler Park
man,
Strip.
I can't tell you how many times I almost got shot up there, man.
We love Chandler Park. That's where we do the collard green cook-off.
I'm telling you, ain't nothing else to do.
Shout out to Alex Allen and stuff. But yeah, the strip, those strips have been shut down. The Rouge Strip
man.
been shut down too.
Yeah. It's back.
It may be cars, but it ain't what it was.
No, nothing is like it was.
That's good.
It don't seem like it is. But it's big on the bike scene though. So because currently now I'm kind of on the bike scene.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out to my guys. I'm not a member of Next Level, but them all my guys. We all old Detroit Harley boys. You know what I'm saying? So man, shout out to them guys over there at Next Level doing some good things, man.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we still be out here a little bit.
Next question. You're the DJ at the end of the fireworks, Woodward and Jefferson. You get to play 2 songs. What you playing?
Oh man. Oh, goodness gracious. It's at the end?
Yep.
Oh man. Give me give me Blade. All right. We're gonna go with Blade. Boss Up.
Boss Up.
We're gonna go with Blade.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go with man, I gotta, you know what? I gotta give a shout out to my East Side boy, who I still feel is like one of the hottest ever. My boy Stretch. Take money to make money.
We love Stretch.
Hey, my boy Stretch, man. That's my brother, man. That's my brother.
Guy. Shout out to Stretch, still out here killing it.
Still doing his thing.
Oh,
still doing his thing.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
hey,
that's
man,
that's your hood too.
That's my hood, man. Absolutely. I'm going on record right now saying that I will put Stretch's The Punishment mixtape against anything that ever came out in the city.
Oh man. And then Crane.
You heard it from me. Crane Nova came, my guy.
Man. Kenny Woods.
Look, man.
For all them people.
Look, man. Just off happenstance, I just happened to be coming out of the gas station right there on Harper and is it Chalmers. the BP that's right there.
Yeah.
I just happened to be coming out the gas station, man, and I saw Crane with a hot lava leather coat on, right? I was like, man, you know Stretch? He like, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Not knowing who he is,
Yeah.
right? I was like, man, I love Stretch, man. He went to the trunk, handed me about 5 CDs of The Punishment, was like, man, pass these out. Man, everybody was rocking The Punishment that year at the going across. When I go to my family reunions, man, everybody was rocking The Punishment.
Yeah, man.
Atlanta, Florida, all of it, man.
Yeah, hey, definitely what they had going and how it built. Crane, somebody I really respect.
Absolutely.
And, you know, as they say, like right now the Detroit music scene and hip hop is
man, this is wide, man.
But it was breaks laid from a lot of the others that led to what's happening now.
Absolutely.
And the last question, you could rename Woodward after one Detroiter, who would it be and why?
Oh, man. After one Detroiter and why? Man. Oh, man, I'm going with the old mayor, man. I'm going with the old mayor. And I'm drawing a blank on his name, but man.
Coleman Young?
Coleman Young.
Yeah.
I have a book of his where it's a whole bunch of Coleman Young quotes.
Yeah, I love that
red book right there.
Yeah, man. I somebody took one of mine. I'm still trying to find that again. I was looking for that the other day.
I had to replace it for you, brother. But when I tell you, man, that man right there was the quintessential Detroiter, right? He was the man.
Yeah.
And I think that he embodied everything that we need. He was hood enough, but he was bored enough. You know what I'm saying? To be able to navigate, and he was that chameleon.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like Detroit, we breed chameleons. Guys from Detroit, you can go somewhere, right? And everybody will know that you're from Detroit. They know it. That's what we do. We know how to navigate in any space. You know what I'm saying? And I think Coleman Young was the quintessential vision of that for us, man. Anybody that can sit the dope people down and be like, hey, listen, you go ahead and operate in this space, but I need you to do X, Y, Z for us.
Yeah.
You know? I got to respect that. I have to respect that.
Definitely.
You can't stop it, but you have to figure out how you can make it work for you and everybody else. You know? And I think crime was at an all-time low at that point.
Hey, man.
You know?
Yes.
Because you couldn't come over here on Grand with Butch and do some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's Lord knows, as they say. The street life stories exist amongst so much else in the culture of Detroit, and that's why I love Detroit is Different.
Man.
To add context to a lot of the things that I think people present that could be horrific and tragic.
Absolutely.
And uplift so much of the things that are so constructive. Thank you so much for what you're doing and talk about constructive.
Man, Kari, man, I really appreciate you for even giving me a spotlight to be in this spot. You know what I'm saying? And to be amongst the ilk of the people who have been on this platform.
Oh, man.
All right. I've watched the platform. I've seen it grow. I've seen the things that you do. I love where you're going, man. I hope that one day I could come back and we could even talk more extensively of what's really going on behind the scenes. In the meantime, man, please, I'll send whatever it is that I have to send for the likes, for the shares, for the subscribes, for all of that. Because when I walk into these boardrooms and I'm asking for grant money to say, hey, I got a bunch of fathers and daughters that I want to take to a suspension bridge park, where the suspension bridge park costs $50 per adult and $35 per child. I don't want to be, the person that say, all right, well, you got to pay for that. But I need to be able to show these board members like, hey, man, this is what I'm doing. I'm creating these memories with these fathers and daughters. We're building trust. We're building rapport. We're building confidence, right? We're building teamwork. We're building a sense of identity on how it is that we can one by one take this city back, but it's going to start in every home. So one home at a time, one community at a time, one city at a time, one state at a time. But we got to do what it is that we're supposed to do, right?
Respect.
My man.
Thank you so much.
Man,
thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Peace.
All right now.
Detroit.
Detroit is different.